All right. Hello, everyone, and now welcome to a game. For those of you guys who wonder, do I sound different? I do. I've been trying to play with my compression, my EQ. I'm trying to um, lower the gain at specific hertz. I don't know how it sounds until I actually upload it. Hopefully I sound okay. If it doesn't, let me know. If you guys are audiophiles out there and can say, you know what, like, you need to be boosted around like 1500 hertz and you need to be lowered, you sound kind of nasally around 5. I'll take that into consideration as well. I actually feel like I'm popping just a little. Anyways, let's go ahead and break things down. This is going to be a human versus night elf all the random match here on Warhail. KraV spawning as the red human on the top or right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Drotaverine spawning as the blue night elf on the bottom left. Eagle-eyed viewers will say, yay, the overlay is back up and running. Hats off to Pad and the WarCraft 3 community that is still keeping this game strong. For those of you guys out there, well, wow. Am I hearing? Okay, I can hear that pop when do I need my pop filter back? No, I might need my pop filter back. Well, at least I can hear it push back to me, so I will try to adjust it. Anyways, for those of you guys, where was I going with this? I don't even remember. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, anyways, human versus night elf. This is where, like, having a co-caster or someone and then having a producer talk into your ear all at the same time could be helpful, help you clarify your thoughts. You know, just a little voice on the shoulder talking to you, telling you have a great day. Thanks for everyone who does support the channel, either by watching, telling your friends. Oh, that's what I want to say. A great community of WarCraft 3, specifically with how difficult it has been to make AAA games. It seems like as of late, well, a number of games have been canceled, and because a number of games have been canceled, a lot of problems have, well, I think a lot of players realize how difficult it is to make an actual good game. Blade Master using mirror image, I'm gonna perhaps allow the mirror image to get the final hit there. There's a quick detonation, not quite sure what it tried to take down there. Meanwhile, Blade Master continuing to fight this Ancient of War, about to get taken down. He needs to eat. This was perhaps a little bit of a mistake by Drotaverine, accidentally aggroing or accidentally detonating one of those wisps. I don't believe he needed to. Meanwhile, up on the other side of the map, we see Keeper of the Grove is already sitting at level 2, and he does have Entangle and Treants. Alright, we know Entangle does shut down archers fairly fast. It exposes them so quickly as the Keeper of the Grove. Is he going to try to go after this Ancient of War? Perhaps going to sum it up. Oh, there's a Entangle onto a Wisp. That Wisp, is he going to get taken down? No, that is just going to be a quick detonation right there as this low hit point footman of KraV will be forced to retreat back. Alright, couple other footmen diving into position again. Are we going to see an Entangle? There's an Entangle onto another Wisp right there. And this is all because the Tree of Life is trying to tech to tier 2. However, it's not going to work because there is a Moonwell right nearby. As long as that Moonwell can get more and more full, there's no real problem there. We're going to see the Entangle reveal that Archer as the Timberwolf is trying to push back these footmen. Now, more damage to be had. Are we going to perhaps see another Entangle onto that footman right there? However, the Blade Master of KraV, or excuse me, of Drotaverine should be able to easily take down that footman again. And we're just looking at exchanging of damage back and forth. Are we going to try to get up a mercenary camp? We do. We have a Murloc Nightcrawler, 10 to 11 damage with only 1 armor. It does attack fairly fast though, so that is important to note. I no way of easily telling who actually hits harder or faster as that Murloc Nightcrawler now retreats back. We are only at Town Hall. The expansion is already up and running for KraV. Meanwhile, we see that Drotaverine is getting up to tier 2, so we may be looking at a second hero as well. That Blade Master does have good Boots of Quell. The Lost Footman trying to retreat there, and well, a couple more lobs of arrows onto that Footman, but the Blade Master will need to Windwalk if he wants to try and get ahead of that Footman. Yeah, just Windwalk. No, it doesn't have Windwalk, excuse me. has critical strike. So without Windwalk, we'll have a difficult time catching up. Meanwhile, Keeper of the Grove bringing a bunch of militia to this Elder Jungle Stalker party to try and finish things off. KraV's low hit point footman about to get taken down. Is he going to perhaps learn or get aggros swapped? And that is exactly what's happened. With the Forest Patrol getting hired up, the Trapper ensnared, and then switched targets from that low hit point footman. This is still incredibly dangerous for the militia and the footman here. They could get taken down. Level 3 now on the Keeper of the Grove will ring up the Arch Magi, and we're going to see that the Scroll of Regeneration and Clarity Potion used up quickly here. Now, one of the big advantages, or one of the few interesting things we see about all the random games is the actual racial advantages by accessing certain heroes. This breaks that particular advantage and forces you into random heroes, hence all the random. That's obvious there. What's interesting to see is how the players play in trying to overcome not having the typical racial advantages that they often want to have. It is level 2 Entangle. That should be enough to take down the Archer. A little bit of damage over time. We're going to see some more damage focused down there. That Archer is still revealed, and we're looking at the Tuskar Trapper now trying to head back as well. The Murloc Nightcrawler taking the majority of the damage here as KraV. Oh, that Murloc Nightcrawler, I did not know. It can actually Shadow Melt. All right, so I guess I would have known that if I was keeping track of my creeps a little bit more. Ancient Allure, 20 seconds nearing completion, but it does not look like it will get completed at all. There's a detonation onto the Keeper of the Grove, and one Ancient Allure is down. Are we going to see the other Ancient Allure get taken down? This Tuskar Trapper already trying to retreat here. Meanwhile, Keeper of the Grove does have a Scroll of Town Portal in order to exit back out, and the Wisp are actually getting in the way of the Footman. There goes one Footman, there goes another, and the Ancient Allure down to 1 second. It is going to get completed, and now massively repaired. Oh, a big save there by Drotaverine, saving that Ancient of Lore, which was sub 100 hit points, but had an army of Wisp nearby to repair it and get it back up to at least half life.
Town is under siege.
Footman scouting out this Tree of Life here. Keeper of the Grove being brought over. KraV does have this Null Overseer. We see a Dark Ranger as the second hero from Drotaverine, as well as that Null Overseer with Commandora trying to finish it off. Are we going to see a Scroll of Town Portal? We are. That is just going to further will add more damage there. Oh, that was that a... All right, Keeper of the Grove. Okay, sorry. I looked here for a second. The overlay said he still had his Scroll of Town Portal, so I got very confused for a moment. Oh my gosh, Keeper of the Grove trying to back away, and wow, very tough there. All right, so Tuskar Trapper able to get it ensnared down onto that Ogre Warrior. Keeper of the Grove needs to get in some major heals. Blacksmith now getting done. Town Hall going to be done to tier 2, and KraV is just hiring a whole bunch of mercenaries with the help of this economic advantage at the expansion. Now, there's 7,000 gold left here, 8,000. The expansion will run out of gold before the main base, and then it will be up to, well,
a player's force
up to the players to figure out which creep camp they want to try or which gold mine they want to establish. Keeper of the Grove being forced to retreat back here down to 180 hit points. There's an Entangle, and the Keeper of the Grove breaks free from the Entangle with that mirror image. All right, Keeper of the Grove does not have, I repeat, does not have, does buy a Potion of Healing in time. He did get to Castle in time, and there's a couple of mirrored images now showing back up again. All right, Tuskar Trapper, are we going to see an Entangle? Finds the right one. So Drotaverine, KraV figuring out which mirror image or which Blade Master was the real one, the real Blade Master. Would you please stand up? As KraV finds the right one and was able to identify which one was going to be doing the most amount of damage, entangles it, and forces another mirror image. All right, the Null Overseer looking to finish off some of these mirror images here. Remember, mirror images do in fact give a bit of experience now, as we see the Mountain King as the second hero. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Mountain King and Keeper of the Grove combination. Very strong 1-2 punch there as the Mountain King, doesn't notice that the Blade Master is just outside of sight range. All right, that could have potentially been really bad. Blade Master now looking to head back home. Mountain King looking to clear out the Skeletal Orc Grunt creep camp. This is a 5-3-3-3-1 creep camp. This will give level 2 to that Mountain King. Meanwhile, that Keeper of the Grove sitting at level 3, as Drotaverine does have a fully saturated expansion here on the west side. Now, it looks as though KraV may be going for classic siege engines in a human versus night elf mirror match. Are we perhaps going to be looking at glade throwers or some other way to deal with that fortified armor? Units are looking to fall back here. There's a Tuskar Trapper gift wrapping one of those units, and now the Tuskar Trapper going to try and back away. Down to 40, 21-0, gets taken down. Blade Master with some big damage there, followed by a Dark Ranger. And able to finish things off. We see there is an Overlord that has a vampiric aura that will benefit that Blade Master just a bit, and also these Dark Minions who are now diving into the main base here, that they are going to end up getting caught up along all of these buildings, as we're looking at still damage coming back across. There's a big thunderclap there. There goes one Dryad, and we're still fighting our way through, getting a surround on that Overlord. There's a howl of terror, but the Overlord does not look like it will make it. Or the Mountain King trying to get away. Mountain King trying to get away, down to 58 hit points. Does have boots of speed and is able to outrun. Meanwhile, Keeper of the Grove gets up to level 4. Dark Ranger summoning up so many units. Both sides absolutely battling each other here. We're looking at 37 supply compared to 52. Drotaverine with a slight gold advantage, but KraV with a significantly larger army size. And, well, it looks like he's going to go for a third and final hero. Alright, Mountain King is out. We're going to see a Staff of Preservation for the save. Are we going to see perhaps a Stormbolt onto that? Oh! Big critical strike right there. 156. Mountain King thought, no, I'm good on health, but no. Blade Master with a level 2 critical strike hit, 15. I think it was a nice proc chance there, and still more damage coming across. Boots of Frontal Loss coupled with Claws of Attack. That plus 11 damage, quite formidable. As the Null Overseer of KraV trying to be saved. Siege engines on their way out. There's a big breath of fire. Siege engines now on the move here. Keeper of the Grove fighting with towers behind them, getting a decent amount of cover as the Blade Master trying to just dive onto the Brewmaster here. Are we going to be looking at more? There's a big breath of fire again going after the Dark Ranger. That's going to be a Staff of Teleportation, and I believe the Dark Ranger will be able to get away. 2 siege engines roll into a Night Elf base. How much damage can they do? That is the question right now. Trying to take down this Tree of Life as we see some repairs now get underway here. More siege engines already rolling on over. So as the first pair get there, the second follow-up pair are nearby as well. Drotaverine closing in on that supply advantage. Siege engine trying to back away. There's the uprooting, and now trying to take down the Tree of Life before the Tree of Life can re-entangle that gold mine. Those siege engines unable to dive in easily there, as we still see some more repairs underway. Plenty of bears, and the bears able to take down the siege engines easily as the Tree of Life gets repaired once more. All right, 2 Trees of Life taken down. Blade Master at 4, nearing level 5. Dark Ranger is at 4. Meanwhile, siege engines rolling on out as we have the Town Hall getting sped built here. 493. I guess the timing actually adjusts based upon the number of workers. 86. Well, yeah. Okay, so nicely done here. With the number of workers, it actually tells you how much each peasant helps overall. Now, we do have a transport ship. A couple of units are inside there. Meanwhile, off to the north, Blade Master is going to get to level 5. Dark Ranger still needs the help of the Blade Master to deal down local on that Blade Master. A nasty, nasty item as we see a third and final hero come across from Drotaverine, the Dreadlord. All right, massive repairs right here. Is the Tree of Life going to be able to get enough health? Just still trying to stay alive, and the Wisp, there's a carry-on swarm trying to finish things off. Is it going to be able to get enough damage onto that siege engine? That Tree of Life down to 202, and still trying to add in just a little bit more. All right, this is absolutely key right now. This one siege engine down to 54 hit points, more damage getting added, and well, it looks as though the Tree of Life, is it going to be able to stay alive? It will. Dreadlord on the board with some experience, and another engine taken out. All right, siege engine showing up inside the main base as well, as KraV is just, what is his plan? Clearing out creeps, Mountain King low on hit points. He doesn't have priest at all. This is just siege engines and not even going for knights. Perhaps, yes, a transition into a Griffin Aviary instead. As the heroes are trying to play a little game of catch up in terms of hero levels. Level 4, level 3, level 2 going up against a 5-4-1. That level 5 Blade Master, extremely scary. We've seen some big critical strikes already, well, change the outcome of the direction and the path of the game already. Slippers of Agility quickly picked up by the Mountain King. One thing to note here, if you do have a boat, hide it, dock it over here so that you do not expose to your opponent that, hey, you do in fact have access to a Goblin Shipyard, and that's exactly what we see right now. Goblin Shipyard, this town hall is going to try to pull back, and here is the issue. That expansion is now exposed, and one bear may be able to just, well, take down a lot of these peasants as they're trying to work. Units trying to retreat back here. Drotaverine with a big advantage, 61 supply compared to 58 with a hero level advantage. As soon as this bear just goes after these units, what is that bear doing? No, go over here. Take down those peasants, hurt the economy. That one transport ship, the bear just seems confused, and that's actually funny. All right, so the bear is absolutely confused on what to attack right now. And looking at the army of Drotaverine pushing pressure onto the town hall. That is a lot of towers here. In addition, we do have level 2 masonry upgrade. Drotaverine does not realize that he can well, attack any of those peasants or move those peasants back over, as we're going to be looking at Druid of the Claw now getting taken out. Yeah, a little bit of a dancing bear. Unsure. That's why sometimes attack move just doesn't work, as the Blade Master able to clear out KraV's expansion that only has 4 minutes of mining left anyway. Alright, that would have been a big difference here, as we're going to see some of this expansion now taken out as well. So Drotaverine uses the, well, 1 Ancient of War, and we've seen so many siege engines try to roll up on into this expansion location, only now to see, only now to see the army and the main heroes be able to cause enough problems. Panda, oh my goodness, Panda ends up getting taken out. Keeper of the Grove, Keeper of the Grove is right there, surrounding that Druid of the Claw. Are you gonna perhaps look? Are we gonna see an entangle? No, Druid of the Claw can just simply escape now, as the peasants, Druid of the Claw is gonna try and attack. Oh, Staff of Teleportation inbound, and what is going on here? Blade Master now shows up to the party and says, "Thank you very much. Let me take down peasant after peasant." 4 peasants now down there. This Keeper of the Groves entangled pretty much lasting a very long time. Still down to 262 hit points. We should be able to finish that off there. All right, a couple of mirror images all wandering around. We're looking at a quick rejuvenation and a roar. That is some big damage across all of these mirror images as well. The plus 23 damage. It's actually quite noticeable that it's constantly, only 2 of these units are real, but it seems like it's a steady drop-off in terms of all of that damage. KraV taking a play out of Moon's playbook, setting up secret bases anywhere he can, while trying to deny his opponent, trying to win the game economically. We can see level 4 Keeper of the Grove, level 3 Panda, Claws of Attack plus 5 handed over to the Keeper of the Grove. And what is going to be happening next? KraV still has a fair amount of gold here. That expansion now lost, though, on the bottom right, as this One only has about 20 seconds left in order for it to be done. Greater Dark Minions out here on the battlefield. A 5-5-2 creep camp. And, well, we know that the Dark Ranger, once it gets to level 6, how pivotal she can be in just accessing the charm. Griffins now out here on the battlefield, so that the dual Griffin aviary could greatly change things as well. No animal war training could be ready here. We're looking at all the Blade Master, those mirror images, that Cloak of Blade, Carry-on Swarm nerfing through, just racking up damage every which way as the Dreadlord tries to chase after some of those units again. Down goes another tower, and KraV could be in some serious trouble if it wasn't for this final gold mine here on the southern side. All right, Triad's looking to take down this Ancient of War. We're looking at Mountain King. Panda is a Panda, no, only level 1 Breath of Fire. Is not going to be really that successful at trying to put pressure on these Moonwell. We see Dryads are out here on the battlefield as well, and they are maybe the counter, or they are the natural counter to those Griffin Riders with that magic damage. All right, both sides still fighting through. We're looking at a little bit of damage and hitting those Moonwells. Keeper of the Grove trying to put pressure onto there, as this has turned into a base race scenario. Staff of Preservation, Blade Master now retreats back home. Orb of Venom, some damage over time, and we're going to see that Blade Master able to attack up and apply that Orb of Venom damage over time to multiple targets. All right, Ancient of War taking some damage. Siege is just rolling on in here. We are looking at, Lumber Mill. All right, so KraV low on lumber, building a lumber mill where the original outpost was in order to get a good harvest. The Griffin Rider now being forced to retreat back, and now we're looking at another Ancient of War about to get taken out. All right, Moonwell's getting taken down here. Blade Master trying to stop the siege engine, but from taking down all of these Moonwells. But remember, heroic damage does reduce damage to fortified armor, making these siege engines significantly effective against these abilities. We are still looking at mining here. Thank you, observers in the game, as this is turning into a big base race. This lumber mill here, well, just trying to harvest as much lumber as possible and perhaps try and build a town hall off over here as well. All of these Griffin Riders low on hit points. Bears coming back around here. Dark Ranger sitting at level 5. We're still looking at some more creeping. This is an advantage that KraV has. Since he's not reached level 5 yet on his primary hero, he can still go after creeps and gain experience. Yes, the Dreadlord can do that as well, but talking about the Blade Master and the Dark Ranger, who really need to level up to try and carry the rest of this game here. Blade Master, speaking of being able to take down the Griffin Riders, there they go. Gonna go ahead and back up right there again. Not quite sure how they healed.
A player's forces
is there a fountain? I don't think there's a fountain anywhere. Yeah, I believe their hit points were significantly lower. All right, Staff of Teleportation inbound. Druid of the Talon finding this little bit of an outpost and able to teleport in. Oh, this would have been an interesting call here. So originally, what he was trying to, KraV could have tried to make a little island of buildings that made it difficult to approach with a transport ship. The transport ship, remember, has light armor, so it takes bonus damage from piercing. Blade Master does get up to level 6, does have access to Blade Storm, as the Griffins are now retreating back once more. Meanwhile, Panda has gotten up to level 3. Mountain King is getting closer to level 4, and we're still seeing more creeping. Griffin Riders are out here. They're going to try and creep out. There's a Jungle Stalker. There's going to be a little bit of damage. And, well, magic damage against heavy armor. Gets taken down quickly. Ring of Regeneration. That's going to be a nice item pickup for that Mountain King. Regenerate some of those hit points. Now go after the last couple of these creeps as well. We see another orange creep camp off to the north, as the Blade Master finds this expo down to the south here, and now trying to clean it up. All right, so all of this mining here, a lot of mining happening. Blade Master now trying to come back over. That transport ship pretty much traveling everywhere. And you can see all of these mirror images trying to, well, push on through. Coming back down to the south, Mountain King. We see a Stormbolt onto that Blade Master. No, we are not. Nope, there's a Stormbolt. Oh, beautiful timing. Are we going to perhaps... Nope, difficult to figure out which one is actually the right Blade Master. The real Blade Master will not stand up. They're just going to all fight here and cause problems. Alright, will the real Blade Master stand up? Yeah, trying to get the Stormbolt down. Perfect mirror image cast dodge, only to then be unable to entangle the real one unless KraV was able to keep track of what was happening perfectly. Alright, due to the Talon finishing off this lumber mill here. Staff of Teleportation inbound. Dreadlord is there. Blade Master Carrion Swarm ripping on through. Blade Master wanting to go after that. Griffin Rider down to 47 hit points. Do we see a Staff of Sanctuary? No, we do not. So no Staff of Sanctuary for a save. There is a Stormbolt. And now, wow, that Blade Master did take quite a bit of damage. Can you figure out which one is the real one? And yeah, it looks as though that it was quickly spotted right there. Keeper of the Grove, however, doesn't have that much mana. Mana being a main issue. Well, because there is no... oh, Sleep also getting cast there. Oh, there's that Staff of Sanctuary trying to save heroes and heroes only. Mountain King does have an invul potion. Should be able to break free. There's a Stormbolt onto there as the Mountain King quickly uses that. And right there, all right, so both sides still fighting their way through. Griffin Rider could get taken down. Mountain King doesn't have that much mana. Keeper of the Grove doesn't have that much mana. Mountain King levels up, but even with the level up, not enough for a bullet in the chamber as the Keeper of the Grove trying to retreat back. Does have a Scroll of Town Portal, just still trying to walk back away as the Mountain King perhaps going to try and regroup as well. All right, Mountain King, couple of Griffin Riders here, all low on hit points. And we're looking at the Keeper of the Grove still doing a little bit of a dance around. There's a potion of healing, and as the Mountain King point after the Ancient of Wind down to the south here. All right, Keeper of the Grove down to 138 hit points. He has to use the Scroll of Town Portal. We don't want to see another critical strike ending the game. When you are running away from a Blade Master, 100 hit points is not enough. You don't want to be taking unnecessary chances, right? Use your... oh, he doesn't have a... all right, KraV, you didn't have a Town Hall. Couldn't use the Scroll of Town Portal. Was trying to run around. I get it. I don't even... Where did the panda get sent off to then? That's my question. Alright. Well, maybe the panda's no longer visible. Anyways, let me know what you guys thought about that game in the comments below.